When I hit 16, I started to experience severe emotions from a very traumatizing home life. So I was dealing with sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, highest level kinds of abuse that people can experience, right? And I didn't know how to deal with it, and I suppressed it. And so I was in so much pain that I found a drug of choice, which for me was food. So I found myself going to 7-Eleven and eating fast foods, and I would eat a lot of lollies, which is candy in Australia, McDonald, like all the stuff. And I would eat refined sugar and get a sugar high for 5 minutes. It would give me a break. It would give me a space between my suffering and the pain. For about 5 minutes, I would get a high, because then the body's releasing all the serotonin. It literally is like a drug. And then would come crashing down feeling terrible after, because it can cause bloating and inflammation and acidity in the body. So I was constantly in this vicious cycle of addictive eating, and it lasted for 5 years. And those out there who have been a binge eater before, or an emotional eater or overeater, can relate. Every day was a living hell. So then, and I remember writing in my journal, was like, what do I need? Do I need to get cancer for me to wake up and not do this anymore? I couldn't, it was beyond my control. So anyway, then I was 21, and sure enough, I ended up with cancer. I had a 3.7 centimeter tumor, that's the size of a golf ball, in my throat, right here in my lymphatic system. And I went to the hospital, I did a biopsy, and I remember sitting there waiting for the results coming back, thinking, what have I done to myself? Because I knew I'd done it to myself because of my upbringing, because I knew better. But just because I knew better, I knew how to eat healthy. I knew that eating the God's foods would keep me healthy and strong, but I couldn't help it because I was in so much pain, right? And then so that was my big wake-up call. And also what I learned from the Indigenous people is, if you go to the hospital and just get something cut out, like a surgery, and you don't also address the root cause, it's going to come up somewhere else, which is why people's cancer comes back again and again and again, because they're not actually healing the root cause.
Visit FaithNFreedom.tv and download the Faith and Freedom TV app today.